Hi everyone, hope you guys are doing great. Today we'll be resuming our sessions of ASP.NET MVC core application where we were developing an eShop application. And in today's video, we are going to see how we can deploy our application on a public URL. So for this, let me give you a quick background. One of the most, I would say, renowned or famous deployment model for ASP.NET MVC core applications are on Azure. People prefer to deploy it on Azure, or it can be deployed on a privately hosted web server as well. But all these require a specific paid server, or in case of Azure, even you need to have a valid credit card where you need to provide the credit card credential info to create an Azure account, which usually sometimes the developer do not have. So today I'll be discussing another platform that allow you to deploy ASP.NET MVC core application with some limitations, which we will be discussing in the video. So without further ado, let's jump to the app and then we will quickly see how we can proceed. Okay. So without further ado, let's quickly jump to the app that we have developed, and let me just quickly rerun it so you can quickly get to know where we were when we have completed our last tutorial. So with this application, you can see that we have developed this application, and now we are going to host it on a public URL. So without further ado, let's just go to the railway.com. This is the one we are going to deploy. So you need to register a free account, which I have already did for myself, and I'm going to the dashboard. I have already created a specific for a free sorry to cut you, for a free trial. It do provide $5. So I have created one account, and you can create a simple account as well. And I've created two services. So you can see I have created a eShop railway application and a Postgres application as well. So for this tutorial, let me just remove these two so I can create the one for you from very scratch. So let me just, I'm just pausing here and let me just, okay. So instead of removing the existing one, so let me try creating a new, and if down the road we need to eliminate or remove these, then we will go with that. So first we need to look at the repo that we have created. You can see that we have created our eShop CKC application over here in GitHub. And what I'm going to do over here, because when we are going to deploy our application on the railway platform, we might need to modify certain things, and even we might need to switch to a free database that might be like Postgres SQL rather than using the MS SQL, because there is no free version available for MS SQL Server. So that's the reason I am going to fork it. So I have already forked a repo, and that repo is basically eShop CKC Railway, and PG stands for Postgres. So I have created a repo already, and what I'm going to do now, if I can quickly go to the railway, I'm going to create a new service that is going to use the same repo. So let me just go to that repo. I can quickly show you. Let me just go to the one. Let me select a specific repo, and I'm going to use the repo which I've created. And with this being done, I'm allowing to use that. Let's see if it's going to create it or not. And what else? It seems like, let me see. Seems like the free environment is restricting something. So let me just pause the video and remove it and then revert back. Okay, I have cleaned the data. Let's see if we are able to create it again in an easy manner. So with the repo that we need to use, we are going to use this repo which we have forked. And let's just have this repo. Okay, so we have our repo available, and there is an option like try to deploy it. So what it's going to do, there was an error. Let me see what is happening. Seems like some issue started happening. So let's see if the changes are going to be applied or not. So you can see what I've did. I've just tried deploying our GitHub repo on this CKC platform, and you can see that it's not able to build the image. To see further what are the issues, let's see. To try to install what we are facing. Okay, so you can see the our application was initially developed using .NET 9, and it says like either target .NET 6 or lower, because by default this railway platform is supporting 6.0. So let's start modifying our app. I've already opened it in my local system, so let me just see if I can open the right folder. Is it supposed to be? I don't know it's right or not. Let me just open the right one. Okay, so we have our app inside the Visual Studio, and you can see we have our application that we have already created in our last video. So let's try to see and added this project file. You will be able to see over here that we have .NET 9 over here. So let's try changing it to .NET 6. But there are like couple of other changes that we might need to do, because only changing this is not going to work, because you can see over here in the entity framework core itself is referring to a version 9.0 and greater. So let's change to a version which have worked previously for me. So I'm just trying to use the same numbers. So that was 6.4.28, and what else was there for the relational? Again, it was 6.28, 6, and so this is the same thing, and let's just try to save it. I'll also showcasing the push to you guys just for the sake of reference. I'm using SourceTree, and you can see these changes are there. And let me just write like versions changed from .NET 9.0 to 6.0. So let me just right away push it, and you can see instantly these changes are going to get reflected. So let me just open that. You can see it again started initializing. So rather than getting explicitly involved, it just see that a new commit have been like registered on the GitHub repo, and it's started building. So what it's started doing, it's started building the same code. So even you can see the commit version changed from .NET 9.0 to 6.0. So let's see what it is going to do and how we are going to see it. So let me just you have to wait. Let me just pause it so we can quickly see. Okay, so you can see that we have faced this error. One thing I should have done, like I should have built it. And one thing you might notice, it's not going to get built properly because certain things are missing because we have changed from 9.0 to 6.0. So these methods are missing over here. So let me just remove it. And instead of this, we are going to use app dot static. There used to be a use static files. I think I'm using it right. Let me just confirm it. And apart, yeah, use static files. Yes. And what else? In this map controller, this needs to be removed. So that's one thing I have done. Let's try to build it again and see if I can compile it. Still, I'm facing some error. So, okay, sorry, this is a typo. I should have done this. So now you can see it's running on 6.0. So let me just try to quickly push the code. I should have done. I could have done it in a single go, but just to showcase it to you guys that what could be the possible issues that you might face. So remove unavailable methods. So let me just push it up. And with this being pushed, so let me just go and see again what this one. It started building once again. I am still expecting some error, but this time there might be different errors. So, and you can see over here, like if I can quickly go to the details, if I can expand this, initialization have been done properly, build have been done, and deployment have been done as well. Even the post deployment is fine. So let's see what and how we can. Let's just close this. And what we now need to have, we need to use or have a public URL tagged with this deployment. So let me just generate a domain. It's generating a domain, and let's just click this, and I'm expecting some error to show up here. The reason is we do not have a proper database running. So let's see what happens. You can see we have started receiving a 500 error. So this doesn't tell us much about the error over here. So let's go to the like CKC itself. Let's just go here and let's see what does the log says. So within the logs, let's see what we are trying to do. You can see there is some issues and the connection ID itself. So this is getting failed. The reason is that we are unable to connect to the database because we are using MS SQL Server and there is no instance and we haven't set up anything as of yet. So let's try to find out SQL Server if it's available. So even over here, let's just try to create one and go to the database. But unfortunately, there is no as such MS SQL Server database available here on Railway. So we can go with PostgreSQL. So I'm just trying to spin up a PostgreSQL. You can see a PostgreSQL is started creating and it's deploying it. It will be taking some time. So you can see a specific Postgres URL have been like created, and those who are not aware of this Postgres database, this is one of the type of database you can use somewhat on a similar lines that you use MS SQL Server or MySQL. So with this being done, one more thing I need to do, I need to see what sort of data or any sort of database table that have been created. I can quickly show you the database name. If I can, you can see the default database name that have been created is Railway. Whereas I don't want this Railway because our database name was eShop uh, CD CKD DB or somewhat similar. So I need to change this. So what I can do, I need to copy the URL using which I can connect to my local system. So let me just try to get those specific variables. Yeah, let me just try to figure out the public URL, the database public URL. I'm going to copy this. Okay. Before proceeding with this, let me quickly show you one more thing. There is a tool, pgAdmin. You can download it from the web and it's freely available. Let's try to set it up because I have already like set it up, but I can quickly show you what it is going to look like. It's basically pgAdmin and 4 version I'm using. So let me just try to establish a new server. Let me just try to establish a new server. I am going to name it eShop CKC Railway Postgres. Okay, and the connection name, I think, yeah. So connection, you can see it's going to be Postgres is going to be the username. So I'm going to paste it over here. Let me just remove this from here. This is going to be the password. So you can have the password with you, and this is going to be the port, and this is going to be the database, which I don't need. So let me just close this. Let's try to save it. And you can see we are able to connect this database that have been created. So let me just try to go, and you can see the railway database is there. So this have been created by default, but I don't need this one. So let me try to figure out what we were like using for our database. So let's try to go and see if we have, I think we have set it inside the code. So you might be able to, okay. Our database name was catalog db cd ckc. So let's just rename it to the same one. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to rename this. There was a provisioning to rename that, and I need to just give me a minute. I'm trying to figure out where was the database. Let me just try to change it to this and save it. Okay, so you can see I've changed the default database name this way. And one more thing which I can do, because there are certain variables being tagged in this. So not on this, on the Postgres. So let me just go to the variable, and I'm going to change the database to, if it's still railway. So let me just try editing that, because these values are getting pulled from the environment. And let me just paste our hard-coded value because we are going to use this. So let me just, so you can see this should, okay, I need to apply the changes. So let me just deploy this. Let's see, it's still deploying, so just wait for a while. It's taking some time. This video is somewhat different from code development or just creating the code. So bear with me. There might be some confusions, and when you will be trying these things on your own, you might face difficulty. So don't worry. At that point of time, feel free to reach out to me via the comment section in the video. And if there is any issue, feel free to share it with me. So with this being deployed, let's see if the database is okay. So you can see the database name which our app is going to pull is this. So this way, this have been changed. What else we need to? Okay, so we need to change. Okay, with this being done, there is one caveat. We have thought of using Postgres, but we haven't done any changes that might be targeting the Postgres. We have already created the EF core targeting the SQL server. So let's move to modify that. And over here, we need to modify things. Let me just give me a minute. With this being done, I need to go to RUM file. And let me just try to pull the specific URL that is going to be created. So just wait a minute. Prior to that, let me just do one thing. Let me just go to the Look Package Manager. Inside the Look Package Manager, I'm going to search for Npgsql. Let's see if it can figure it out. No, not in the installed one, but Npgsql. This is going to be something like that. Okay, so we need to include the version that we were referring to, and that was, I think, 8 point, no, not 8.1. We were referring to 6.808. So let's just add, because we have used the same one, so I'm just trying to get that one installed. So with this being selected, let's just install it, and we can quickly see the changes that are going to get reflected. So Node Package Manager is doing its own work. It's still loading. So let's see if it's being applied or not. Just bear with me. Okay, so we have installed the Postgres Npgsql, and now we can modify our code to use this instead of using SQL Server. So basically, this SQL Server was the previous code, and we are not going to use that. What we are going to do now, we are going to use Npgsql, and there is the difference over here. It's going to be, let's just use the host. And let me just try connecting it with the local first, because I have already set up the local one before moving to the cloud one. Let's see if it works or not. I have the default port, that is this, and the database is going to be catalog. The database is equals to catalog ckc and catalog dbckc. With this being done, we might need a username. A username, usually the default is going to be Postgres. And with that being done, let's just use the password. The default password for a local machine is usually 123.123.456. With this being done, let me just build, and you will see there are a couple of other errors. So let me just try to build it so you can quickly see what other issues we are facing. Let me just quickly go to this. Over here, you can see use HiLo. This is a sequence which we have specifically used for SQL Server. As we are not going to use it, so we are going to use identity column for this. And there are like not this over here. So let me just copy. There are a couple of other places we need to use it. And one more, I think. So let me just add this. Let's see if it works or not. Okay, so you can see that we are able to connect very swiftly with this, but some issue happened, like fail to bind to this already in use. So might be, let me just stop other servers. Okay, so I have set up the credentials and I can quickly show you. There was one issue which I was facing and I can quickly discuss that with you. Like I was using Postgres username with p caps, and actually the user itself is p. And keep it in mind, like in Postgres, like case sensitivity is being catered. So p caps was not working. So let's just try to run it. So with this being done, now what we have done, instead of having MS SQL Server, we are having Postgres behind the scene, and you can see each and every thing is working. One thing we can quickly see and try to figure out if it's coming from the same database. So let's just try to figure out, and I'm going to quickly show you the schema and the table, schema and the tables, and inside that, let's just go to the catalog table. Let's just view all rows. And what was our data? Our data, which cancel. We'll just pasting it on. Just try to do it. Yes. Okay. So one thing, white mark. So let's just do one thing. Just Postgres, and we'll see if this have been pulled from this database or not. So let's don't know what happened. There might be some issue. Okay, we will cater to this as well. For some reason, a 0 ID is showing up. So let me just try to run it. And this is still breaking. So let's just get this code fixed first. So just give me a minute, and we need to see what issue it's saying. So what we are trying to do here, we are trying to read the file path, and we are trying to then find the file. But what actually is happening for the ID 0, there is no file. So let's just rewrite this code a bit properly. Let me just do one thing. Instead of using this plus, let's just use path.combine for this as well. With this being done, let's just path, and instead of this, use x. With this change being there, what else is remaining? This ID plus png, this thing is fine. And let's just add a if condition over here. If system.io.check file.exist path. What we are trying to do over here, we are trying to check the if this path do exist. If it doesn't, we are going to return a not found. So let's just return a not found, and we are going to return a specific, let's say, let's just use interpretation, and let's just set the image with id. What id we are receiving wasn't found at, and let's just return the path as well. This will help further down the road. This is just to showcase and for the troubleshooting purpose. Otherwise we don't need to return the path, but just bear with me. And with this being done, we are returning in case the file does not exist. It does that. And then what we are going to do, let's just add a try catch so we don't face some issues. Let's just move this bytecode over here inside the try. Let's just move it over here. Let's just, and with this byte array being there, if this byte array is perfectly fine, so return a file. And there is still some possibility, for some reason we might not be able to create the file. So let's just create an exception and return a status code instead. Stated code 500, and you might know that 500 is for server side error. And again, let's just use a string equation, and let's just write an error occurred while retrieving the image, and let's just use that message, and that's all. Throw is not needed over here because we have done this, and I think this is going to work now. Let's just move further. Hopefully it should work now. Let's see what is going to happen. So you can see, and where is our file or thing which we have modified? Let's see if we can try to figure that out. You can see the change that we have done is being visible. So all this is getting rendered from our application that we are using the PostgreSQL. One thing you might have noticed, like we haven't removed the migration, and we are using existing database. So I think let me just quickly show you that we need to remove the migration as well, because this is not going to work when we're going to deploy this, because our migrations which we have with us are for SQL Server, not for the PostgreSQL. And the database server is working because I have already created it for the previous like tries, so it's working as of now. So let me just do one thing. Let me just remove the migrations. Okay, so let's assume, and one thing which I'm going to do right now, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to delete this database. The reason I'm doing this, because I want this created using migration rather than creating on my own. So with this being done, let's do one thing. Let's go to this. With this, I'm going to use, okay, to remove the existing migration, you can do one thing. You can directly remove the migrations folder, or you can use this command. So let me just try running this, and you can see the migrations folder have been like removed from over here. And what we are going to do again, like we are trying to generate, let's just first build this. Hopefully it's building perfectly fine. And let's just go over here and .NET TF migration. Let me write properly. Migrations, add InitialCreate. With this being done, you will see that a migration folder is going to appear here, but this time it is going to target PostgreSQL. So you can see over here, it's Npgsql. So let's try running and see what is going to happen. Either we might need to run the update manually, or is it going to do it? Let's see. Let's hope for the best. I don't know how things are going to happen. There could be unexpected issue. Okay. So one thing I think I have used, hopefully I have used the right one, not this one. Okay, this was something I have done. Okay, a couple of projects I'm referencing at this point of time, so sorry for that. This is the one we are going to use. Let me do one again. Seems like I've done it on the other project. So let me just remove dash R migrations, and you can see the folder have been removed. And let's just do .ef migrations and add InitialCreate. So it is going to create a migrations folder quickly. Let's just wait for it. It's just building it. It will take a while. When succeeded, then you can see the migrations are there. So let's try to run it up and see what is going to happen. So okay, so you can see, if I can quickly go and see, there is no database as of yet, you can see. So let me just refresh it, and you can see another database have been created. We haven't manually created it, but the EF core have done it on its own. So with this being done, you can see each and everything is seems like running fine. So what we can do, let's try to push it to the server and see how it's going to work. So what we have done, we have included this. Okay, one thing we need to change the, we are going to change the specific credentials. Well, I'll do it in a while. Let's just add this. Context file is going to be added, and all these migrations is going to be added as well. So let me just add those. And for this program.cs file, what I need to do, because you can see this is basically a local one, what I need to do, let me just create a copy so we can have a reference of this. And what we are going to do, we are going to pull it. You can see this is the public URL. I can quickly show you, and let me just copy it up, and it do contain multiple things. So let's just paste over here, and we'll be pulling the required things. So with this, Postgres is the username, so let's just put it over the here. It's already there. For the password, let me just copy it up, and over here we are going to use the password. The URL is going to be this one, so let's just copy, and with the host over here, port that we have been allocated is this one, so let's just use this. And we have already changed the name to this, so let's just remove this and try building it, so we don't face any build or related issue. So let me just build it up. Okay, so with this being done, let me just push it up and see if the same have been modified. You can see that this have been done. So what we say, migrations added along with connection string. So let's just push it up. And with this push, Railway might have triggered it. Oh, yeah, you can see right away it started building this. So let's see what happens. So you can see like everything have been done. Now let me just quickly go to this and try to run it. So you can see our application have been hosted over here, but certain like images and other assets are not showing up. So let me just try to get hold of that. Just give me a minute. If you can recall, within our services, we have set up a base URL, and that was something. If I can quickly go, this is not the right project. This is the right project, services one, and inside that. So over here, we are still using this local host because we should not use this one. Instead, what we need to use this one. So let's just copy it up and try to use it over here. And hopefully, let me just quickly push this up. Base URL changed. And let me just push this. So I push that code and it's again going to trigger. So it's started building once again. Okay, our code have been redefined again. Let's just see if it's working or not. You can see like this have started working. So certain things have started shaping up, but there is one issue, and I can quickly show you within the source code. If you can quickly go, you can see the configuration or the development environment that we were like using for production that have been used. So if I can quickly go and show you over here in the layout CSHTML, you might have recalled that we have used these environments. And for the development, we were using this local thing. And for the production one, we are doing this because railway platform is using this production tag. So it's trying to use these which are not available. So just for a sake of quick fix, what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip it like I'm doing it other way around. So at least we are able to have our environment properly running. So with this being done, I've switched this, and then I think one more for the sake of scripts. So let me just quickly, instead of copying everything, let me just use this. Let me just cut it. Use this. And what else? There is nothing else. Let me just quickly push this. Uh, so let me just commit this. Okay. So we have just flipped the environment settings. Let's just quickly go push, and then we are going to do is still started initializing again. Just wait for a while. Okay, so again, we have redeployed the things and let's just quickly go to our app. Okay, so successfully, we are able to successfully build and deploy our app on this public URL. And you can see this is a public URL and you can share it with anyone who you want your application to access. So hopefully you might have liked this stuff, and I'm keeping till here. There is one another way of like porting your app to 8.0, but that's by using a Docker file. So I'll try to quickly create another part of this video where I'll be showcasing you how to move from 6.0 to 8.0 using that Docker file. So that I'll be doing in the next video because this video is already a bit long. And I hope that you might have found this useful, and there could be a time certain times in this video that you might face or have to bear with me, because during deployment or doing certain things you might face certain issues. So don't feel bad for that. And that's pretty much all for today's video. If you like the video, so feel free to like it and subscribe the channel, and do share it with your circle as well. And if there are any questions, comments, or any issues that you are facing that you would like to discuss or connect with me, so feel free to add a comment in the below the video. So that would be great. So thank you. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.